Welcome to Card Gods Unleashed, where we talk about all the latest topics in the card industry. We're your hosts. I'm J-Bone, Courtney, and UC Pike. How you guys doing today?
Great. How are you?
Doing well. First off, I want to thank everyone for joining in today, thanking our hosts, Production Line, and the facility, Adventure Unknown, for allowing us to utilize the space tonight and kind of talk about what's going on in the card industry.
Sounds good.
I know I'm super excited to be a part of the Card Gods, and I'm personally just curious what really got you to want to start this whole thing up, Pike.
Spent a lot of time. We all found each other through Whatnot in the app, and particularly one show, and
Good old We the Hobby.
yeah, We the Hobby, right? Shout out to them; those guys are great. But yeah, we spent a lot of time in there together. But I started to do research. Bought a lot. Started to see different trends in the hobby. Had some visits with those guys, and went and visited a couple other D&E breaks out in California, and kind of get an idea of how things were running, and just saw a different niche. Wanted to offer more value to the end buyer. Saw different trends in the industry that were kind of going away from the value part of things.
Okay.
And wanted to find a way, and I wanted to find like-minded people to bring that value to the customer. So I started watching Courtney's show, started watching your show, started watching Viper and some of these other shows, and really liked the personalities, really liked the shows, really liked what you guys were doing, and started sparking ideas. What can we do? How can we be bigger, but yet keep it small enough to where we can still offer that great value? And, Card Gods was born.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things, just the individual identities we all still have throughout the brand, for sure. Courtney, one of our favorite moderators across the entire app. What got you started in cards and eventually brought you into Card Gods?
Honestly, I was in the shoe category on Whatnot. Yes, shout out to shoes. And I think We the Hobby rated into one of the shoe shows that I was in. And I was like, cards? They have cards on Whatnot? And I collected cards as a kid. And so I went directly over into We the Hobby. I think I went and bookmarked their show, went over. And I literally have not stopped being on cards every day since then. And then when I was approached by Piker about his vision with Card Gods, it met my same vision that I had for my channel and my customers and our people, and so just kind of aligned. Here we are.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, J-Bone? You're part of the brand. What do you think?
How I got into cards initially I was loved Pokemon growing up. Just getting packs, even though I could barely afford them, but started with a couple packs that I got gifted and turned those into trading a bunch of base for one holographic that I was able to trade for multiple. And about 3 years ago, I had just remembered that I had all the Pokemon. I was kind of out of the card world completely, and had went to a customer's house. I'm in roofing for the day trade. And he had asked me if I knew anything about cards. And I was like, I got some Pokemon. And he shows me his son, who's deceased, entire collection. And I took a handful of Jordan stuff and turned around, posted them online, and sold them, and completely forgot cards were a thing. But my Pokemon cards I was able to sell for a good chunk. I went back in the attic and found them and sold them, and then had a buddy tell me about Whatnot and what I can do. And the first show I jumped into was We the Hobby. I'm pretty sure Courtney was there the first time I met her, in Pike as well. And from then I was hooked. Just the thrill of the chase of, at the time Mahomes had just won his first Super Bowl and wanted to be able to chase a nice Kansas City team, But getting to know you guys, along the way has been awesome, and it's a friendship that has sparked, and I couldn't think of any more reputable people that just have good conscience and want to be to be able to take care of the hobby in the ways that we didn't see when we first got into it. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Appreciate it and love it. I think this is going to spark and do well.
Yeah, I mean, we got good people behind us. We got good supporters. Shout out to everyone that hops into Core Stream, our stream, supports us. They see what we're trying to do, and it takes a little bit of time to gain traction. But we're excited to be a part of this journey. But we all kind of got into the hobby for the fun, the chase, when we see the value in what it is being good. This is Card Gods Unleashed, and someone unleashed the Kraken in absolutely insane topics to talk about, and it is, I just want to say, asinine. And
I mean, I don't think we thought we would be here.
No,
for sure.
It's easy conversation to have, for sure.
Yeah. It's not something we need to repeat or something we need to show, but I think that we can post a link for everybody. If they want to watch it, they can. It's definitely not easy on the ears. If you have kids, brace yourself. He talked about things he wanted to do to his, future kids, maybe future daughter.
I wasn't in the
I
stream.
don't know how you would.
Even like a comment. It went on for
A segment.
a good 30
Yeah,
seconds.
it was a good minute or 30 seconds, a minute long. But anyway, I think a lot of people in the community know about it at this point. Those of you that don't know about it, we're going to shed some light on it.
Not going to repeat it because
There's no reason to repeat it. But let's get into it. We all know we're talking about Grant at Backyard Breaks. The comments were deplorable. Everybody on all streams right now, all platforms, they're attacking Grant, they're attacking Backyard Breaks, they're attacking Bugsy as well. And I can't say wrongfully, rightfully,
No, I mean,
rightfully so.
There's literally whatnot policies that talk about.
Right, and we'll put a link in the on the screen there, and we'll talk about the.
I think it just hits home
the
because
policy.
everybody has a mom, a daughter, a niece, a granddaughter, and when you hear things like that, it's just disgusting.
Right.
It is.
And so going deeper than the initial though, we see the outrage all throughout the hobby. If you go into their shows, people are still all over them, and it's fresh.
I mean, we were on the phone, and you sent me the clip, and maybe 10 seconds in, and I was like, I just can't listen anymore. This is not what the hobby's about. Right.
And so that's, I think that the personal feelings, the outrage in the community, it's all warranted at this point, and I don't think you shouldn't hold back.
No,
you've got to let everybody know how you feel about it. And I think that it goes beyond Backyard at this point, right? We all know they're the biggest in the hobby, by far.
Yeah.
They're millions and millions of dollars worth of
and contracts
product.
Topps, Panini.
Contracts with all these different
PSA.
companies, right?
I mean,
the shows they're doing, like what's the right response at this point? What do we as a community hope for? What do we want to see out of that?
I would like to start off with just saying, you can see that the community has come together with the outrage across all platforms. Facebook, I've seen it all over, whatnot, Reddit. I think that in and of itself just goes volumes to say how good 99% of the hobby is. Man, I mean, should the Backyard Grant show just be canceled in general? I mean,
I think that's fair.
If it was us, we'd be done.
yeah, I mean, if we don't, they have a platform that is well beyond what we have.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
right, it's
if
in their
we're all on
policies,
the same
right?
level under the policy, then we would be done. So, I mean, no questions asked to me on that. I will say this before we get into anything else. I saw a lot today. Obviously, we're seeing a lot on whatnot and everything like that. The people that are going after everybody at Backyard, I feel it's bothersome to me. I don't think that that's warranted or fair.
I can agree with that.
They were bashing, that you're following, and even if one of my guys or anybody that I know said something, it would be really hard for me not to back you. you know, and be your friend. I know you guys. I know who you are. I know your heart. And you say something out of the way, which I know y'all. I know that wouldn't even be the case, but they're just backing him. They don't agree with it, and everybody's bashing the entire backyard as a crew. When I think that if you just take the Grant aspect out of it, they can move on from it. But I don't believe that having Grant back in there is a good look for them at all moving forward. But that's just me.
Yeah. Pike?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too far away from Core there. Like, Grant certainly doesn't deserve a platform at this point. You know, I think he's worked himself. He's built a great company. You know, he's been a part of this amazing company. But we've seen things from Grant before, right? Like, this isn't his first snafu.
No.
You know, he maybe he plays a character on screen, but
He walks the line.
He does walk the line, but we've seen that character come into question before. You know, with the Trevor Lawrence disappearance. You know, and he didn't take the blame for it when that happened either. You know, that was his partner in crime there. His partner took over and took the blame for it. You know, he said, "I'll say it for you." You know, and we know that Grant's one of the founders. You know, he's the chief marketing officer right now, and watching Backyard themselves, you know, they don't need to disappear by any means. I think that punishing the entire company would be out of bounds at this point. You know, I think that they've built this great creation. They've brought a lot of people into the community. They foster that daily. But, you know, as far as Grant goes in the community, I think a lot of people have probably...
He's seen his better day.
Yeah, I think we've had our fill. You know, it's time to move on from Grant, and I think that everybody can agree, you know, of that. I know the argument is that because he's the CMO, because he's a founder, he's still going to be making money on the back end of that. But I don't know that that's wrong either. You know, he's spent his time building this great company.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. So I don't know. There's going to be opinions. You know, ours are just 3.
Yeah.
But there's going to be opinions all throughout the hobby of how to handle it. You know, I think the bigger burden lies on these corporations and these companies that have contracts with Backyard.
Yeah.
You know, how they react is going to stem how everybody else reacts.
Yeah, I think it's up to PSA, to Tops, to Whatnot, to really decide. And what I hope for is just they're thinking not of the dollar signs, but just what's for the betterment of the hobby. I mean, value-wise, I bought into Backyard. I bought into many times. Everything's good there, and I'd hate to see them shut down because they are housing a company that a lot of people rely on that employment to feed their family, pay the bills. So I don't think that them shutting down is a necessity, but I think Grant's got to go. This is not something that could be bounced back from, in my opinion.
There's just certain things that you say that someone says in life that you really can't come back from. And when you bring children into something like that, that's one of them. So.
Right. I mean, if you look at celebrities, you look at athletes and the way they kind of handle these situations, there's athletes that, because of their relationships with minors, are out of the league now, you know. So I don't see this as being any different. You know, there's boundaries you can't cross. We all know that kids is one of them. I mean, Whatnot has it specifically in their policy. So we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens with Whatnot, what they do, and then we'll see what the other companies' fallouts are. But the good thing is that the community right now is bigger and better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
There's more people enjoying cards. There's kids, there's adults, there's people that have been out of the hobby for 30 years that are coming back and enjoying it and really having a great time. I can't think of a better time to be in the hobby.
I'm so excited that I'm in it. I mean, just 3 years ago to now, like, it's just what I've seen it grow is just tremendous. So I know that we didn't intend to really speak anything about this until the last day or so. This is supposed to be the intro to the card gods and the community and everything that they are. So I know if anyone here is a regular streamer and continues to support Backyard, I think that that's a good thing. But also, if you need to find a new home, I know between the three of us, we've made so many connections, and there are so many good streamers across not just Whatnot, but Facebook. I know some of my favorite people to watch that are reputable: T-Lin, War Room, Gold Daddy, We the Hobby. All stand-up people, do the right things, have good content. Did I miss anyone?
City
City
Breaks.
should
City
be in
Breaks,
that, you know,
absolutely.
they're
City
great.
Breaks in there. I was just in one of the National Treasure Breaks a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a really nice job. They bring good value. And there's plenty of other streamers out there. Those are some of the bigger ones that carry a large room, but there's some of the smaller ones out there too, that they really deserve a shot. They deserve you, just stopping in and saying hi, build the room for them, help them out a little bit.
You don't have to buy.
Yeah, no.
Just
Chatting there
Chatting,
with you
making
goes a
making
long
connections
way.
in the hobby. That's how you acquire cards in this industry, is by the connections you can make, and you just never know who's going to be in that room when you're there. That you spark a great friendship.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
Yeah.
what we've done here. And so no, it's an exciting time to be in the hobby. I think the community's bigger and better than it ever has been. There's more shows. They're more accessible. It's online now where you can get cards, whether it's through eBay, Whatnot, Fanatics, Facebook, TikTok, you name it.
I mean, it's
The
just-
platform,
it's
there's
awesome.
cards are available, right?
It's
So
over. I had no idea.
it's
I had no
overwhelming
idea.
when you start to think about the grand scheme of it. So it's just good to urge and encourage people to don't let this one event shape the hobby. Take it for what it is. It was a mistake, but let's move past it. Let's grow stronger. Let's be tighter as a community.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're absolutely going to do. In our next segment, we're going to be talking about types of breaks and specific streamers that we know that are good that run those breaks, and how we can all grow and learn from the hobby and have fun while we're doing it. So I know I'm really looking to the next segment on that. So
For sure.
Yeah, that sounds great.
awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out today, guys. Thanks for joining in with the Card Gods Unleashed. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening, and God bless.